The Romans made toast first because they thought it made bread last longer. The British adopted it and brought it to America. The Americans cooked toast over an open fire, which is very time-consuming, so they decided to invent the toaster. Allan McMasters made the Eclipse toaster in Scotland in 1893, and it was reformed until Charles Strite made the Toastmaster in the US in 1919. Variations of the toaster were made after the modern pop-up toaster, like the conventional toaster, the convection toaster, and the conveyor belt toaster. Allan McMasters invented the first version of the electric toaster in 1893 at Scotland. The Crompton Company marketed and manufactured the Eclipse toaster. This version was not very popular because the iron wiring was prone to melting and was a fire hazard. Nichrome wiring was invented in 1905 by Albert Marsh so that the toasters wouldn't catch on fire anymore. Frank Shaler made the D12 toaster in the US, but it could only toast one side at a time, and you had to watch it until it was done. The Coatman Electric Stove Company made the automatic bread turner in 1915. Charles Strite made the modern pop-up toaster in the US in 1919. Charles was tired of eating burnt toast at the cafeteria at work, so he made a toaster with a timer and springs. This company released Strite's toaster with the name Toastmaster in 1926. Sliced Bread really commercialized Strite's toaster in 1933. The coils that glow red inside of the toaster produce infrared radiation to heat both sides of the bread. Nichrome wire is used inside of the toaster because it is a good heat producer and it does not catch on fire. This is the view looking down into a pop-up toaster. There are two slots that contain mica or nichrome sheets. In the slot there is a holder that pulls the bread up and down. There is also grates inside of the slots that press against the bread to center it. Two metal springs get pushed at the bottom of the slot that push the grates toward the bread to press it. The holders in the slots are connected to the lever that lowers the bread into the toaster. The lever needs to keep the bread in the toaster for a period of time, apply power, and include a timer that pops the toast back up. The hold-down mechanism and the power are usually both incorporated into the lever. A plastic bar presses into contact on the circuit board that applies power, and a metal piece gets attracted to an electromagnet that holds the toast down. Power is applied when the plastic bar pushes the two contacts apart. Volts of power run through the contacts to the nichrome wire, a simple circuit made of transistors, resistors, and capacitors supply power to the electromagnet. The simple circuit is a timer. The capacitor charges through a resistor, and power is cut off from the electromagnet after a certain voltage. When the power is cut, the toast pops up. Two variations of toasters were made after the pop-up toaster, which are the conventional toaster, the convection toaster oven, and the conveyor belt toaster. Anything from a pizza to a chicken can be cooked inside of a conventional toaster oven. A convection toaster oven is basically the same as a conventional toaster oven, but it has a fan inside of it. A conveyor belt toaster keeps food moving on a belt for consistent and quick toasting. Conventional toaster ovens use radiant heat, warm air, and conduction to cook food. Convection toaster ovens use the same heat sources, but have a fan to circulate warm air. This element increases the temperature of the toaster, removes moisture, and cooks food more evenly and quickly. Conveyor belt toasters were made to carry bread through toasting chambers of radiant heat using chain-driven conveyor belts. The speed at which the bread travels through the toaster decides the level of darkness of the toast. Bread is usually laid out in 2 or 3 slices on the rack and deposits from a tray at the bottom of the toaster. The Romans were the first group to make toast because they thought it made bread last longer. The British adopted toast from the Romans and brought it to America. Before toasters were invented, Americans had to toast their bread over a fire, like roasting a marshmallow or a hot dog. The modern pop-up toaster made the act of toasting bread very easy, quick, and efficient compared to the prior method over open flames, which was a fire hazard. The Eclipse toaster in 1893 was a fire hazard because it was made with iron wiring. The D12 toaster could only toast one side of bread at a time and had to be watched until it was done. The automatic bread turner was made in 1915 by the Copeman Electric Stove Company. Charles Strite made the modern pop-up toaster in 1919, which was named Toastmaster in 1926. 3 variations of the modern pop-up toaster were invented: the convention toaster, the convection toaster, and the conveyor belt toaster, all stemmed from Charles Strite. The toaster can be reformed to make food faster, more efficiently, and more evenly with each new addition of technology. It's very adaptable and can be improved over time.